Hey everyone, we have Akondaye with us today. Akondaye is a licensed professional counselor, supervisor, and a dynamic speaker who has been empowering and uplifting listeners for years. She's the owner and founder of Fountain Counseling and Developmental Services, which offers a variety of mental health counseling and psychotherapy to children, adolescents, and adults. She's passionate about helping, motivating, and inspiring people to be their best self. Once a professional athlete and a highly regarded leader, she has spent years motivating and inspiring athletes and competitors and clients alike build their confidence and move outside of their comfort zones and achieve their goals. So, Akondaye, happy to have you here. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah,
How are
it's
you?
great. I'm good. It's great to have this chat with you. It's exciting, not only because the topic that we are discussing today. I'm sure that this resonates with so many people. At the same time, because it's exciting because we've been working together on your project for more than a year now. So when it comes to working together, we've enjoyed each other's contribution and journey. We've enjoyed this journey. So today we are discussing about how people find it difficult to let go of their past trauma and they bring that negative energy into their business and why their business is suffering because of this. So
Right.
right away, let's start discussing about this. So tell me something about, why do you think that people are not able to let go of their past trauma? And, they are still struggling with it and they're still stressed out and they most of the time live an anxious life. So go ahead.
Yes. Again, thank you. So I think a lot of us we don't have the knowledge or the skills to let go. We don't know what that means. So when we experience certain stressors or difficulties, challenges or traumas, we hold on to that and it affects us moving forward because we don't know what to do with it. It lives with us daily and it eats at us until we learn how to um, manage those emotions, deal with those uh, memories that may come back, flashbacks or however, until we learn how to manage them, let them go, then it will affect us in our daily lives and everything that we do.
Mhm. So when you say that people hold on to, a lot of their emotions and they don't know how to let go of these emotions, um, what exactly is happening? It's like, is it that, there's a memory, there's a tape that keeps on looping in my head? Or how do we tell people that, you're still holding on to your earlier thoughts?
Right. Well, but sometimes we feel like when we're holding on to it or we're reliving it or we're, um, acting out, I guess, our like anger or resentment or holding on to that we're hurting the other person, not really realizing that we're hurting ourselves. So what I like to share with people is, you know, identify how you feel, if it's, anger, if it's, hurt, if it's, um, disappointment or whatever the case may be, acknowledge how you feel. But then you also have to uh, do something to help yourself and not just continue to feel that way, continue to be stuck. So we have to identify what we're feeling because the feeling is natural, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with the feeling. The feeling is neutral. And so allowing ourselves to feel what we feel, but then doing what we need to do to help ourselves to feel better. So if we're feeling angry, identify that we're feeling angry, what's going on, but then allowing ourselves to do something. And the do something is the coping skill. We have to figure out what's going to help us to calm down, what's going to help us to, let go, of that emotion. If we're feeling, anxious or worried, stressed, overwhelmed, identify what we're feeling, but then we have to do something to help ourselves through those emotions. And that's the coping skills. And a lot of people, unfortunately don't have coping skills. or they don't have healthy ones, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and
So
that's something in itself. You know, there's healthy coping skills and there's unhealthy coping skills, and we want to focus more on the healthy.
yeah, so that brings me to the question number one, like two questions, but number one is when you say identify what's going on, and you give an example that, because I believe that not everyone, identifies with anger. Not everyone, it feels that anger or that anxiousness.
Right.
Sometimes people just feel nervous. So, what are the other things or other emotions that people can feel in their body other than anger?
Oh, right. Yeah. There's a host of, you know, different emotions and feelings. And you're right. Sometimes we don't know what we're feeling, or we can't put a name on it. We can't, um, I guess, name that feeling, but we know something's not right. And so we want to pay attention to that. So if we're noticing that, you know, we're in a certain situation, or we're around a certain group of people or a person or whatever, and we're feeling a certain type of way, or we're feeling uncomfortable, or, you know, we start to, you know, I guess, get nervous or whatever is happening. And again, we may not be able to identify what it is, but we just know that something's not right. We're not
Yeah.
feeling, you know, good right now. Something's going on. You know, we want to pay attention to that. And even though we're not able to put a name on it, we know that something's not right. And so we have to figure out what we need to do to, you know, again, to help ourselves. You know, do we need to step away from that situation or that person? Do we need to, you know, kind of go and maybe, you know, talk to somebody and, you know, I'm not sure what's going on. You know, I don't really, you know, feel well, and just kind of try to identify or, you know, figure out what's going on.
Okay. And that's basically an example of healthy coping mechanism or healthy coping skills, right?
Right. Yeah. So,
So
again, you know,
what could be unhealthy coping skills?
so unhealthy could be, say you're, you know, again, you know, feeling a certain type of way and you're not really sure, you know, what's going on. And say you're at I don't know, a social event and, you know, there's alcohol there. Okay, let me, you know, take this drink so that I
Yeah.
can, you know, numb out, or so that I can kind of zone out, or even so I can, you know, feel good so that I can interact or deal with whatever's going on, you know. And it could be, maybe it's a business type, you know, I don't know, conference or presentation, or just kind of social networking thing. And again, if there's alcohol there, okay, let me take this drink so I can go over and talk to this person, or let me take this drink so that I can, you know, be funny, or so that I can, you know, build the courage to, you know, present this, you know, topic or project or whatever the case may be. So that would be something that's, you know, unhealthy as far as coping.
Okay.
And that's just an example. There's, you know, many different things that we do. And again, it may be something, it may be just kind of bad habits that we formed, you know, throughout our lives, not really knowing, you know, that it's not good for us. It's just something that we've done. But again, if we're doing something and it's not helping us, then we need to look at that and we need to change it, and we need to figure out what is going to, you know, help us. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I can give my example. Uh, when I was, going through not so good things in my life, the situations were not according to what I wanted them to be. And I'm talking about 2017 or 18, maybe. I would just, start eating a lot. And then I would start binging a lot, Netflix and all. And I would tell myself that, this is my coping mechanism. This is how I would tell myself that I need to relax. I wasn't doing anything anyway, but I was just telling myself that I need to relax. Now I still do it sometimes, but then I really want to relax. So I only do it then. But at that
Right.
time, I used to use it to just, get away from my reality that I was going through difficult times and that I needed to face those things and, just find a solution for that. So do you
Right.
think that's also unhealthy?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And again, that's all of us. But I guess the key is for us to identify, what it is that we're doing. And so, your example, and then even going back to the drinking example. So the problem with the drinking, and then the problem, with the eating, um, it creates an additional problem. So yeah, you might feel good temporarily. So with the drinking, that might allow someone to, feel a little more, relaxed to, present or to, talk to someone. But then it creates a whole another problem in itself, with the drinking, of the alcohol, or not really managing, what it is that's actually going on, and so every time you're in a stressful situation, then you're, creating, I guess, a habit, okay, let me drink, right? And so you're never really building the skill needed um, to help yourself to calm down, to help yourself to relax, to build, the communication skills or the assertiveness, so that you can, move forward with whatever, the goal is. And then even with the food, okay, yes, we do, have to eat. However, we want to have a healthy relationship, with food. And, food is, ideally to be, energy, it's an energy, source. And so if we're overeating, and especially, things that aren't necessarily, healthy for us, and we're binging on those things, then that could potentially create additional health problems or concerns, or even, okay, just weight gain and, self-image, type, issues. And again, it still doesn't allow us to deal with whatever the situation is, that's, going on. We're not developing, healthy coping skills. And, even, Netflix and just kind of binge watching TV. Again, that's all of us. But we do that, and then we create another problem, because after, that whole day or that whole weekend or whatever, then we're upset, frustrated because we weren't productive, or we missed a deadline, or now we have to rush
Yeah.
because we procrastinated and didn't get something done. So we want to identify all those things, because it's all of us, right? There's times in our lives where, we just, I don't know, fall off track, don't always make the right decisions, or kind of, um, just kind of just get stuck. And so it's up to us to identify, that we are stuck, or that we're, off track, or that, we need, to do something different. Um, there's, so all of us, go through different things, in life, and we started kind of, talking about like trauma and stress and anxiety and all that. And so, what's important to remember is, it's not our fault, or we're not to blame for a lot of the things that we went through or that we've experienced, but it is our responsibility to do something about it,
Mhm.
So we have to take action, and the only way we can take action is identifying, okay, this is what's going on, or this is what's happening, or this isn't
Mhm.
working for me, or I don't want to feel this way anymore, or I don't like how I do this, or whatever the case may be. And then we figure out what we need so that we can turn things around, or feel better, or, elevate our mood, or be productive, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that, especially when you say responsibility, because a lot of times people want to put all the, blame on other people, and
Absolutely.
they don't want to understand that, a lot of things are still in their control. And
Yeah.
I'm just, this quotation, not quotation, sorry, this quote just popped in my mind that, a lot of times you want to, it was there and now it's gone. So responsibility is like, I can control a lot of things that are in my head, my thoughts especially. And I
Right.
cannot control the actions and the thoughts of other person or other people. And so if I can just
Right.
let go of that control, I feel that a lot of times I, immediately tap out of that stressful situation. The moment I
Yes.
say that,
Yes.
I can control myself, I cannot control them.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know,
respond. Yeah.
and even if it's something, you know, that keeps, popping up, where, like you had mentioned, sometimes, the movie is playing over and over, in our head. And so we can't control a lot of the thoughts that come into
Mhm.
our head. Like, throughout the day, there's like, I don't know, 70,000 thoughts or
Yeah,
some,
you mentioned it.
ridiculous, number. And so we can't control the thoughts that come in our head, but we can control what we entertain or what we buy into, or even what we
Yeah.
believe, right?
Okay.
And so, we want to, pay attention to, our thoughts, because we're responsible for our thoughts. We're responsible, or in control, for how we feel, and then even, how we react or respond.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that we can control and change. It's really us, things that happened in the past. We can't do anything with that. Other people, we can't do anything with that. And then things in the future that hasn't even happened yet, we can't do anything with that. So the only thing that we can control and change is ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So, till now, we've talked about, you've given us a solution, and that is, first of all, to identify the stressor or the trigger,
Mhm.
or the kind of emotion that my body is feeling when I'm stressed out. So, identifying that. And then the second step is to, create a healthy coping mechanism, or develop healthy coping skills to manage that. So now
Yes.
let's move on to the next thing, that is how this all is affecting, the business. So if I'm stressed out, if I'm not able to let go of my past trauma, or the emotions, the memories that eventually trigger, negative emotions in my body. So how is this affecting my business?
Right. Absolutely. So if we're worried about something, we're not fully present, we're not here. Like, so our attention is elsewhere, or whatever that, worry is, if it's something, in the past, if it's something, in the future, we're not focusing on the here and now. And so if we're, running a business, or whatever it is that we're doing, we're not going to be fully involved. We're not going to be our best selves because our mind's not there. And so, we may lose opportunities, we may lose, time, if we're spending so much time focusing on what happened last week, last month, last year, or whatever, or we're worried about, next month, we're, taken away from the present, the here and now.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when you say that, we lose time. And
Yeah.
this has happened with me in the past. And we will go on our next topic, which is breaking stereotypes or changing beliefs. But before that, I just want to, bring the example here that sometimes I just take 3 months to do simple tasks, or in my business that would have been done in probably a month or so. And it takes me 3 months. And I'm
Right.
working on
Uh,
that. And that, yep, go ahead.
oh no. Again, we we lose the time because we're focusing on, I guess, things that are helpful for us, right?
Mhm.
And so I guess, to use an example, like you said, sometimes it takes you 3 months to do something that could probably be done in a month. It and
Oh, your video is off.
oh,
It's back.
sorry, I don't know what happened. Okay.
That's okay.
And so maybe you're focusing on, maybe someone said, okay, you shouldn't do this, or you're not going to be good at that, or that's not a good business, or, you were never good at whatever, like whatever issues, that, when we deal with, I guess, people that don't believe in, our visions, or, just kind of haters or just naysayers, whatever the case may be, that if we're focused on that, then that could take us away from whatever it is that we're trying to do, because we're allowing those people to, to control, us and what we believe in, or what we're passionate about, or question, our skills, or question ourselves. And so that we could tend to not move forward because we're worried or concerned or believing what, those people or those past situations, how they're affecting us.
Yeah. And I also think that sometimes, the things that are happening in our life on a daily basis, and they are creating stress. And we believe that those things are creating stress, but instead it's the past trauma that we are carrying. And those daily
Right.
things kind of multiply that past trauma and that past stress. And then it feels like, that, oh, a small thing can trigger you.
Yes, absolutely. And we can just kind of spiral, just for that small thing, and not really realizing that we allowed so many things, to build up, and we didn't do anything with it. And so now that little thing turns into, a really big thing. And so again, going back to, us paying attention, to ourselves, what we're feeling, and handling it right there so that it doesn't build up.
Okay. So other than that, identifying and then making sure that it doesn't build up. And so in order to do that, we create healthy habits, healthy coping mechanism. Other than that, what else a person can do in order to, avoid that stressful situation, or just bringing that energy, that negative energy into business. So for example, let's say I'm not in that positive mode and I have a meeting with a client or a prospect or maybe a team member. So how to just, in that moment, just avoid that, or, tap out of that negative, mindset.
Yeah. I think, one thing that we can do is kind of look back across, I guess I'll say, our lifespan, at the things that we did well, or that were wins for us, or many successes, or however. And so if we're about to go into a meeting, and we're not really, feeling, that positive, and, we're having, I guess, the negative thoughts, or, okay, the meeting's not going to go well, or they're not going to like me, or they're not going to accept, this presentation, whatever the case may be. Then we want to stop that. We want to, stop the, negative thoughts, or, the, I guess, yes, the negative thoughts. And then we can look at, okay, well, that's not true, because last week I presented, this to this group of people, and, it went over well. Or, last month, I, got accepted into, this particular program, or whatever the case may be. And just being able to look at the things that have went well, the things that have worked, and then that could possibly elevate our mood to go into that meeting, and to, present, or, conduct ourselves in, a healthier, positive, light. But again, it's really going to start with our mental script, how we talk to ourselves. And a lot of times, if we don't practice that, it's going to be hard for us just to pull it up, so it's something that we want to practice daily throughout the day. We want to pay attention to our thoughts. We want to, challenge and dispute our thoughts. We want to stop the negative, scripts that go on, in our head. But that takes work. It's going to take practice, because it's a new skill. Some people think that, oh, okay, it's easy to, just think positive or be positive, and it's not. It's a new skill, and so we have to practice that skill just like we would practice anything else. In order to become good at something, we have to practice it.
I like to, because I've practiced this entire, positive scripting kind of thing. And now I'm pretty much in a good situation where I don't need that much of, a longer positive tape for me to tap out of a
Right.
negative scenario. So what I tell myself is that, I believe that, your logical brain needs proof. And so if you give it enough proof, then it's like, okay, now I'm fine, because it wants to keep you in that safe environment. And so if the logical brain is, if you're feeling negative and you don't have enough proof to tell your brain that it's okay to feel positive, because like you said that, last week, my meeting went well. I booked in a client and, several positive things. Then if you're not able to give your brain that much of data, that much of positive data, then your brain will keep you in that negative situation
Right.
or negative emotion.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I like to just tell myself like 100 things. Now it's easier for me. Now I don't go into that zone again and again. But like there was a time when I used to just stay stuck in that negative loop. And so I started to tell myself, you know what, you're still in a far better situation. Not that I'm comparing myself to, people who are above or below, but just telling myself that, if you didn't took that decision, you would have been somewhere else. So it's okay, see how
Right.
good things turned out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think also what happens. So if we're thinking negatively, and then we're gonna feel negative, right? We're gonna feel, anxious or worried or uh, angry or frustrated or whatever the case may be. And then we go into that meeting, and then that's how we're gonna present, right?
Mhm.
That's gonna show, So we want to give ourselves the best opportunity, when we're I guess presenting ourselves, right? And that's going to start from, our thoughts, our mental script,
Yeah.
So we want to have, healthy thoughts so that we can feel good, so that we can, interact or respond or behave, in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I agree. So let's move on to the next section, which is about breaking stereotypes. Now, this is season 2 of my podcast, the Guru Show podcast. And the theme for this season is breaking stereotypes, or, how you managed to change a belief for yourself, which belief was basically a stereotype. So share something about your, the stereotype that you faced while you were growing in your life, or, growing your business, and how you managed, how you tackled it, and how you changed it. Or if you're,
Okay.
even if you're still struggling with it, that is also fine.
Okay. Great question. Great question. And so one of the stereotypes that was like a major I guess, factor in my life is, growing up, there was always a comparison, from, boys and girls, males and females, however. And, even in my home, I have an older brother, and, my mother would always say, okay, well, he can do this because he's a boy. You can't do that because
Mhm.
you're a girl. And so growing up with, just kind of the gender, kind of stereotypes. I didn't like it. I didn't agree, with it. And so it really kind of taught me that I can do anything, that I
Yeah.
want to do, regardless. I understand, that, I'm a female. I understand the difference, genetically, from, males and females. But whatever it is that I want to do, then, I can do it. And so that's what I really kind of pride myself in, right? Um, growing up, I played football, with the boys. I was athletic, and I played, I enjoyed, doing athletics. So it didn't matter if I was playing with males, or females. To me, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, to the boys
Mhm.
back then, because they didn't want, a female,
Yeah.
playing sometimes. But with that, it just really changed my mindset, is that, I can do anything, with work, with, um, I guess practice that I can, do anything that I set out to do. And that's even, today, I'm still athletic. I still, work out, I do powerlifting. And, even still today, I'll get men that will come up to me and say, you're really strong for a female.
Mhm.
I really I was I dislike that. I was gonna say hate. And it is kind of, hate's
Mhm.
like a strong word. I usually don't say it, but it just really bothers me because I feel like um, they should come up to me and say, you're just really strong, right? You
Yeah.
know, because when they add on you're strong for a female, it means
Mhm.
that females aren't supposed to be strong. Females are very strong, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, females are very strong. And so, um, again, throughout my life, that's kind of been the thing that's, pushed me uh, to really go after whatever it is, that I want to do, despite, I guess what society might say or think it's okay or right or, um, appropriate or whatever the case may be. That's within, my business, across the board, within my home, my family. Um, I have my husband and, there's, we don't have like, okay, you're the wife or the woman. So cook, clean, take care of the kids or, however, it's not like that.
Mhm.
And so I just pride myself in, yes, I'm a female, but there's nothing that I don't feel like I can't do. And if it's something that I want, then I'm going to go after it.
Yeah, I love that. And I so, resonate with this, like, at so many levels, because growing up, it was the same thing that, you're a girl, you cannot do 99 things, just do one thing. And, and being a boy, boys can do like 100 things. So I
Right.
felt that, you know, after a certain stage when I realized that I'm still struggling, I realized that because of those things that were told to me, the stories that, you're a girl, you cannot do 99 things, um, I couldn't figure out what my individuality was, like what I was as a person. And I realized that there are two things going on inside me. One was coming from the learned behavior that I learned, through the years. And the second one was who I really wanted to be. And so I couldn't, bring that personality to the forefront. And I was struggling to really understand at what is going on with me. And this is something that I'm talking, like maybe just few years ago. So I was still in that learned behavior personality, till few years ago.
Right.
So this I resonate with this at so many levels.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's the case for a lot of people. We're brought up in certain, environments and, just kind of generations before us, maybe they, I guess felt a certain type of way or they bought into, the stereotypes or whatever. So, what I like to tell, my clients, whatever it is that you want to do, whoever it is you want to be, kind of coming into your authentic self, identify what that is. There's lots of tools and resources, out there that can help you get there. So just because something, I guess, has been, or like, again, you grew up in a certain environment or you're comfortable with this or this is how, things were, doesn't mean that they have to continue to be that way, And so once the individual identifies, again, I'm not happy with this or I want to do this or, I, have this goal. Okay, then, work on it, go after it. And that's kind
Yeah.
of, what I adopted. I don't allow other people to tell me, what I can or can't do. I'm going to do, what I want to do. I'm going to figure out a way. And I'm not going
Mhm.
to allow the fact that I'm a female, to prevent me, from doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what I'm understanding is that one of the way people can, you know, like sort of make sure that the stereotype is not affecting their future life or their business is by telling themselves that, you don't have to still stay in that mindset. You can change things for yourself. And that is if you take action. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, that's correct. And again, there's so much information out there, to help us, right? There's so many, tools and programs. And I mean, we can continually develop, ourselves, right? So
Sure.
absolutely, whatever it is that we want to do or change or, become, it's at our reach.
Yeah, I agree. Because so many times, people struggle. So they learn different things. They learn all the skills and strategies to grow their business or, doing things in their life. But then when it comes down to mindset, they struggle and they're not
Yeah.
able to go past that thing just because, they themselves start believing in those stereotypes. So one part of them says that it's a stereotype. But the other part of them says that it's a belief. It's how the society works. And so they have to sort of, stay the same way. Right?
Right. And, society, it's changing. We have some, some women out there that are doing some really great things, on our behalf.
Yeah.
And so,
You're an
we,
example.
uh,
You're
thank you.
just being
I
modest,
try,
but you're a great example.
Well, thank you. I mean, I just feel like, if you want something, then you have to go after it. And, and not expect it to be easy, because
Yeah.
again, there's, lots of people that have different, beliefs, and that's fine. That's what makes, our, world, a beautiful place, because we have all of these, differences and, uniqueness. But if there's something that somebody wants, there's resources, there's tools, and there's probably even someone that's doing it and that you can follow, right?
Yeah.
And so just because something was, or this is what, society may think, something should be. Okay, I'm sorry. Just because society says that this is how something should be, that's not the case. We're all on our own journey, and I should have put my phone on do not disturb. I apologize. We're all on our own journey, and so it's up to us, to to walk that journey. Everybody's journey is different, and so if we want something, then we have to go after it.
Yeah, I agree. We have to go all out.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why, I took this theme for the season 2 is because I really think that, I really believe in 80% mindset and 20%, strategy, that it comes down to mindset. And because I struggled with it. And so if I can help, with this theme, with this, with these episodes, if I can help inspire people who are still stuck in that energy, or who are still stuck in that, they're not able to go past those stereotypes. If I can help people, I would be happy, at the end of the day, that I'm still making that impact and I'm inspiring people. So that's one of the reasons, just to help people, move past that zone. So, like you said, that there are multiple resources. I want this also to be, one of those resources. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's summarize all of this, that we've been talking about, how people bring their negative energy into their business, and therefore their business is not growing. So there might be other reasons, for example, there are certain skills that they need to acquire. There are certain strategies that are not working. So there might be multiple things, but negativity, stress, and anxiety could be one of those. So how their business is getting affected because of the negativity. And then the next thing that we discussed is how people can let go of this, especially when it comes to, their business. So, and you gave us a strategy that is, first of all, identifying the emotion and then identifying or creating a healthy coping mechanism for that. And then, so this was the first thing that we discussed. And then the next thing that we discussed was how people face stereotypes, and each one of us faces that, in some form or the other.
Right.
The only way to go past it is to take action and keep trying and telling ourselves that we can achieve anything if we just go out for it.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
and then one other thing that I want to add, that I want to add is
that is so exactly what I was about to say. That add more to it.
So when it comes to our mindset, we can ask ourselves a simple question: is this helping me or hurting me? And so if whatever is in our mind, whatever it is that we're thinking, if it's not helping us, then we want to let it go.
Okay. And then one of the ways to let it go is to give our brain a lot of proof that how letting it go in the past helped us.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And so, again, with that, if we have a thought, like it's not healthy, and maybe it's a repetitive thought, and we can look back, okay, it didn't, it's not helping this situation. It's not helping me feel good. It's not helping me in this relationship. It's not helping me, be productive, on my job. So I need to do something, I need to change this. I need to, let it go. I need to dispute it. I need to, replace it, with something that is, helpful, or what is going to, move me forward or elevate my mood. So just because it continues to come up doesn't make it facts, it doesn't make it true, so we don't have to hold on to that.
Okay. And so then one question pops in my mind, that what if somebody is not able to realize that they need to replace it, or they need to tap out of it? What if I've found comfort in that negativity? Or, just to add one more thing, what if I cannot do it myself?
Again, there's lots of, resources, tools, professionals, that, can help us, when we're not able to help ourselves. And so that's, one thing that I would advise. But again, having a good support system, because if we surround ourselves with, positive people, or people who believe in us, people who want us, to succeed and be successful, people that we trust, then maybe we might feel comfortable, or maybe we don't see anything wrong with, the way we're thinking, or, responding, or however, but those people that are closest to us might. And so we could, kind of take heed, to what they're saying, so if multiple people are telling us the same thing, there might be, some truth, to it, and we want to investigate that.
Yeah. So I like that point, that even if I'm not able to tell myself or realize it myself, I can see that people who matter to me, or people for whom I matter, if they are telling me, and they're, I hear it from like multiple people multiple times, then that means that I need to take some action.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then we are talking about like two situations. One is I realize it and I have the resources to tap out of it. And then second thing is I don't realize it, but then other people telling me. So then there are other resources to help me to tap out of it.
Right.
Two
and
scenarios.
Then again, if we're talking about business, and we're saying that, okay, we don't realize, that there's a problem or issue, or that we're struggling with anything. If our business isn't growing, Okay, so we
Mhm.
want to look at that. We want to look at, okay, why isn't our business, growing? And so once we figure that out, then that could be, okay, because, I need more knowledge or experience in this particular area. Or, my my mood, or my mindset, or how I interact, my interpersonal skills, or however is affecting my business. The feedback from my customers or clients isn't that positive. So there's ways that we can find out that might kind of direct it, or point the finger back to us, and
Mhm.
so if our business is kind of stuck or declining, then we want to look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it cannot be done in one day. And there are definitely, different resources that we need to, uh, we need to find, first of all, and then go through them and make sure that they become part of our life, our daily life. So that brings me to the point that you have a course and you have multiple resources and tools that you are sharing with different people so that they live a stress-free life and, anxiety-free life. So tell us something about that, your program.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for asking. No, so I do have, resources, because again, we all experience stuff, right? Life happens to all of us. And, the key, to being successful, being happy or fulfilled, is to be able to navigate, those difficulties or stressors, or,
Mhm.
um, when life happens. And so I have, of course, that can, help us do that. Um, that can help us to uh, prepare, for life's difficulties. It helps with our, mindset. It helps, build school tools that we can use, to develop ourselves or to manage, life's difficulties.
Yeah, I know that because, I worked on that program for sure. So just,
Yes.
and that is the reason why I would love to add a few more things about it. I'm sure that you're the better judge of it because you've created it, but just adding a few, things that I can recall. And so I think that this course is not just, something that people will consume and that's it. They've learned a few things. I think you take them through, you step by step, take them through this process that they can apply in their daily life on an daily basis. So it's not just that they've consumed, they've understood a few things, and now whenever they face negativity, they will try to recall what you taught. But it's like what you're teaching, people can apply it in their daily life, in the normal situations as well.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that can help them not only overcome obstacles but also improve the quality of their their daily life.
Yes. And again, that goes back to the practice. Like, a lot of um, a lot of what life is it's
Mhm.
practice. We
Yeah.
we have opportunity, every day that we wake up is an opportunity, for us to get it right, and to practice and to prepare ourselves for what the day brings, or what life throws at us.
Yeah. So how should people go and access your course if they're interested in?
Okay, so it's on Thinkific, so
Okay.
they can go to Thinkific, and also my website, akondayefountain.com. And then my Instagram page, they could access it as well, Akondaye Fountain.
Yeah. And then they can also enroll in a free course. Just and the free course is well, I'm talking more about your program. And I think it's because, it's been like more than a year or so. So the free course is, I'm taking the liberty. So the free course
Yes.
is about how to develop that positive mindset. And I think there are a few videos, like 7 or 10 videos. I don't remember, but I think so. And then, so if people want to develop that positive mindset, they can go through your free program, free course, and then you have a paid course as well. And I think both the links to both these courses are on your Instagram and also on your website.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, so, positivity, and let me say this. So, I'm sure, it's always said, okay, be positive, think positive. So, when we say that, or when I say that, that doesn't mean that bad things won't happen, right? The thinking positive or being positive, it just helps us to get through those things or to manage those things more effectively. Okay, so the course allows you to do that. It's not going to prevent, by you taking a course, it isn't going to prevent, bad things from happening. It's just going to help you to manage those things better.
Yeah, love that. So let's summarize everything in your words. How would you summarize everything that we discussed today, or just like a final nugget for people who are struggling with stress at the moment and they're not able to go past it? So like a final strategy or something.
Yeah. So stress is some stress is needed. It's natural. But too much stress, could be, harmful, to our health, to, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so it's helpful if we prepare ourselves, right? We equip ourselves with the tools or, the skills so that we can manage, the stress. So we can manage all the many different, big emotions, that we might experience throughout life. We want to, be prepared because it's going to happen. Every day is not going to be a good day, but there's something good in every day. And so with our, positive mindset and taking action, then we can make it through life and enjoy life and really not just be present, not just kind of go through it, but really live, life. And it's just, how we view things and, our mindset and having the skills, to help us.
Yeah. And there's so much that we can talk about this, so much to talk about, like how to cope with stress and how to there's so much around this thing that we can, discuss about. And then this discussion can go for hours, I believe.
Yes.
Because stress is such an umbrella term. There's so much happening under that umbrella. Right?
Yes, there's, stress all over, work, family, friends, just kind of life things.
Yeah.
So, yes, there's always stress. So,
yeah, people are just stressed about just about anything in their life. And the interesting thing that I think I mentioned is, I'm just taking the credit, is that a lot of it, is goes back to what we experienced in the past. And like I said, that we just keep on, superimposing and adding to the stress that already happened in our past life, and we're just adding more and more to it. And that's why it just feels like our life is not going anywhere.
Right. And so we have to kind of unpack some things, right? And not carry, that luggage with us. So.
Yeah, we have to unpack it.
Yes.
Okay, so it was super interesting to talk to you and just understanding how we can, let go of that stress that we feel oftentimes for no reason. There are reasons, but then oftentimes the reasons are so small that we don't need to be, stressed out for those reasons. And so it was interesting to talk to you. You have any last thoughts?
Oh, I want to thank you for having me and giving me an opportunity to, share with your audience, just kind of coping and managing stress. And again, it's inevitable. It's a part of life, but there is, healthy ways for us to, cope and manage so that we can, be free or be kind of motivated, to do the things that we do.
Yeah. Thank you for joining in and sharing some of the great tips. So looking forward to
Thank
talking to you
you.
again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.